Welcome to the Respectful Divorce Podcast. If you're considering a divorce, it's important to know that you have options for how you divorce. On the Respectful Divorce Podcast, we explore those options and provide advice from divorce professionals. I'm your host, Tim Crouch, and today we're talking with Melissa Lenon from CPCal about the 4th annual Divorce with Respect Week that is coming up March 3rd through 9th, 2025. Melissa is the chair of CPCal's Public Education Committee, and together, she and I have worked on Divorce with Respect Week for the last several years now. Melissa, thanks for joining us today.
Well, it's good to be here.
So, if somebody were to ask you, what is Divorce with Respect Week, what would you tell them?
Yeah, it's simply about raising awareness about ways that you can divorce that are more peaceful, that have more respect.
CPCal started this back in 2021 as just in California, kind of as a way of beginning to build more brand awareness about collaborative divorce. And one of the things is that this has now gone nationwide and has become a much bigger than just a California event. It's a national endeavor, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think there's overall a climate or an atmosphere in the United States for wanting to do this differently, to have other options besides kind of going head to head in a traditional litigation model.
So just for our listeners and explaining how this kind of works, that divorce professionals agree to do 3 30-minute consultations for free during Divorce with Respect Week. And people can find someone who has agreed to do that by going to the divorcewithrespectweek.com website. And then their information is on there by state and city, and people can then request a consultation that way. But this is more than just about a free consultation. This is educational, right?
Absolutely. I think if, as a professional, we're trying to increase the public's knowledge and awareness about different options. When people say collaborative divorce these days, I think there's still not a clear understanding about what that entails, that it's actually a structured paradigm rather than just an amicable split. And so it's really important that brand awareness, if you will, or public awareness of what the collaborative process is, as well as other peaceful pathways like, mediation.
So this being the 4th year, what have you seen that has kind of evolved out of the previous Divorce with Respect weeks?
It's really exciting to see the changes, to go from, mostly a California-driven initiative to, stretching across the nation, to go from focusing mostly on city proclamations and, local news events to national podcasts and national radio interviews, television even. Missouri last year brought the awareness of Divorce with Respect Week to their local television stations. So just the platforms that we're operating on and the expansion has been really great the last 4 years.
So just kind of some of the things that has been done, and you did this in your area. The first piece is to go and get your local city council. In Missouri, they even got the state to do it, to declare it Divorce with Respect Week in Santa Clara, California, in your case. How did you do that?
Well, I think there are lots of routes to doing this. Personally, a more interesting and fun route, I think, is to contact a city council member and actually make either face-to-face or voice-to-voice contact and tell them what it's about. And then they're super excited and happy to educate us about what the next step is for that city. So, but there's also online options as well. You can go to the city council website and look up city proclamation, and there's instructions there most of the time as well. So it depends on what type of person you are. Do you want to do a little face to face or, phone conversation, or do you prefer to just handle it over the web?
Yeah. And in your case, you went to lunch, I guess, with a city council member, right?
Yeah,
And
it's turned into like a lovely, I don't know if I would say relationship, but it's been a really lovely time. Like every year I meet with her, I get to hear more about what's happening in the city. I, tell her about the endeavors of Divorce with Respect Week. And then I've gotten to go to the city council meetings and actually receive, the proclamation physically and have a photo taken with all the city council members and the mayor.
and one of the things that happens when a city issues these kinds of proclamations is that it activates their channels, their social media channels and other channels that they're telling people in their community about this, which then can lead to other things. And one of those was that your local newspaper did a story, right?
Yeah, that was another exciting kind of surprise is that, yes, the local media picked up the story. They talked to me. They wrote an article about it. And, I think that actually led to also being contacted by the New York Times to speak about, not divorce with respect, but uncoupling in essence. So it grows legs, I think.
Yeah. And that's one of the clear goals is if what happens is that it grows those legs, more people become aware of it. That people start walking into a attorney's office or someone's office and saying, "I'm really interested in this process."
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea of it becoming a household name that clients are now asking us, I'm tell me more about a collaborative divorce. I'm thinking about a collaborative divorce. I've checked into this. This would be my preference. I don't know how to get my spouse on board. But yeah, so that it's driven by the client and not just by professionals.
And there's an interesting story that I just heard recently. Collaborative professionals in Washington have participated in Divorce with Respect Week, and they were doing a training recently, a basic training for collaborative professionals that they had attorneys who attended who said, "I have people coming in and asking for this, and I need to get trained." And, I think that's one of the goals with Divorce with Respect Week is, as a matter of fact, that the public sees this as a better option than what people have always seen, in the tabloids and other kinds of things about the ugly side of divorce that often comes out of when you go to court.
The court system is, by nature, by design, an adversarial process. So common sense would kind of say, is that the best option for a family? Should you put a mom and a dad, head to head like that? And so thankfully, over the years, many people have seen this and said, there's got to be a better way. And here we are, we have it. It's just not so well known, in the public eye. It's not forefront in the public eye. But Divorce with Respect Week is a way to make that happen. It's a huge campaign. Thousands of clicks are being driven to the site, which is to say people are interested. They're curious about it. They're wanting more. They're coming to the website. And I think we're doing our job. We're getting the public a little more educated about this option.
When you got involved, what attracted you to this collaborative divorce process?
Well, just the name of it speaks to you, and you start to think, oh, that's actually a really good idea. So the name of it, of course, when you're thinking about this is a family, these are like lifetime relationships. If you can achieve that in a collaborative way, how much better off everyone's going to be? Mom, dad, the kids, the extended family. because divorce does reach beyond two individuals, and we're so used to seeing the two adults in the room for a divorce. But really, there's a whole community of people affected, including schools. Like schools often have to deal with the changes in their kids' behavior when different arrangements are being made, or if there's conflict between the parents around the divorce. So it really has a big ripple effect. And being able to contain the conflict, reduce the conflict. And of course, I'm a divorce coach. What I really love is the fact that we have the opportunity to change communication, which those skills the parents take with them with their co-parent for the rest of their lives. So there is an aspect of this being just a time-sensitive process. You're here to get a divorce. But from the coaching side, there's an opportunity to have an imprint that extends and to even change the trajectory of how things go for this family.
And that's why it's so important to create this brand awareness, or this awareness of a better way to get divorced, because of what people think divorce looks like. And instead, if we can do this, we can create this new sense of what divorce can look like, and that Divorce with Respect Week gives a time for collaborative divorce professionals all across the country to speak as one voice and to get that message out in a bigger way. And that's the exciting piece of this. And I often say that the way I look at this is, if there is a mom in New Jersey with a daughter in California who's facing the reality of divorce, and she hears about Divorce with Respect Week, she can then tell her daughter, hey, you can talk to somebody about this and see if this might be a better way for y'all to go in your, as you consider this divorce possibility.
Exactly, because it's a nationwide event. It's not a local event. And so you do have the opportunity to spread the word in more ways than you do if you're just focusing on one state or one area. And there's not many ways for collaborative professionals to do that. This is one of those platforms we can all stand on and, like you said, speak with one voice. And the saying about many hands make light work, many voices make a bigger splash or something, right? We're going to really, the ripples from this are going to go out much farther than if we're just in our own little isolated group.
Yeah, you and I were in a meeting earlier this week, and Jennifer Napper, who's a financial professional in the Bay Area, described Divorce with Respect Week as the Super Bowl of collaborative divorce.
It's a great description. It's true.
Yeah, and it's not nearly as expensive as trying to get Super Bowl tickets.
Exactly. It's pretty cheap, actually.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to jump on board.
Yeah. And we're able to get lots of eyes on collaborative divorce and create that circumstance where people begin to walk into somebody's office and saying, we want to do this collaboratively because we see this as better.
Yeah. And one aspect of that, which I think many groups are able to benefit from, is, having a central website, divorcewithrespectweek.com, which from there people can click and find their regional websites, their regional groups. But this is one aspect of Divorce with Respect Week that really is beneficial on a huge level to professionals and to the public about creating those splashes on the internet and raising those SEOs. Collaborative people.
Yeah. One of the things that I think that has been very effective with Divorce with Respect Week is we have a lot of people who come in and get information, but they're not necessarily ready to talk to anybody right now. But they may be ready to talk to somebody 6 months from now, and so that it's a great time for just spreading the word about collaborative divorce and building that so that people do walk in the door asking for it 6 months or a year from now or years from now, if that's where life takes them.
Absolutely. It's called Divorce with Respect Week, but the intention is that this is having an impact all year round. And we know that's how people's lives go. It's not going to completely coincide with March, 3rd through 9th. But if they've heard about this week and they've heard about the website at any time, it's relevant to them. They at least have a starting point. Oh, okay, I heard about this thing about divorcing with respect. I want to check that out.
So for collaborative professionals who want to participate, they have to be a member of a collaborative practice group or statewide organization, right?
Yes. That's the way that we have quality control, really for the public's best interest. They want to know that the people that are on that website have been through the training, have the interest, have taken the steps, made investments in this direction. And so I think it's a form of quality control for the public.
And that people don't come onto the site who really aren't collaborative professionals. So if you're listed on the site, people know that, yes, this person believes in this collaborative process, and they're not going to get into somebody's office who's not committed to it and have a bait and switch on them, because there are those who will do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that professional is going to be able to speak with them like we all do for consultations when people call us about collaborative, or we can talk about the process and answer, some of their questions, of course, in a more limited way. But they're going to reach somebody who really takes this seriously and can help them get to their next steps. And maybe that's just talking to their spouse or whatever.
So in order to participate in Divorce with Respect Week, their practice group or their statewide organization needs to be licensed by CPCal and meet certain standards.
Yep. Again, this is in consideration of the public. And I think that collaborative really represents quality. And of course, we want to be ensuring that quality. And so there is a license that you can receive in order to be able to, fully represent Divorce with Respect Week in your area and state.
So the practice group gets licensed, or the statewide group gets licensed. There's a $200 licensing fee, but then individuals can participate covered by that license, and they don't necessarily have any additional cost that they need to incur unless they want help in promoting their participation or their practice group's participation in Divorce with Respect Week. And that runs the gamut of kinds of things that my company, the Crouch Group, does to help promote Divorce with Respect Week to drive traffic. But really, once you've got the licensing in place, anybody that's a member of that group can participate. And $200 is a pretty low investment for this kind of a national effort.
Yeah, the point was to make it so easy and accessible for people that one license covers a lot of different people. You don't have to deal with registering individual by individual or getting your own individual license. It's covered by your group. You're good to go.
Yeah. So Divorce with Respect Week is March 3rd through 9th. It's good to sign up now to get licensed and to kind of get the ball rolling with helping to promote Divorce with Respect Week in your market area, because it's not something that you sign up on March 2nd and you just think it's going to be magical at that point.
Oh, yeah, it's way too late. In fact, because we're going into the holidays, this is the ideal time to start your planning and meetings and to get your license and kind of take some steps to get ready, because we all know sometime between November 25th and December 25th is kind of a wash, and then be able to hit the ground running.
So once again, Divorce with Respect Week is March 3rd through 9th. Melissa, thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
It's good to be here, Tim.
If you want to learn more about Divorce with Respect Week, go to divorcewithrespectweek.com. We'll put a link to the website in the show notes. You can also get more information by contacting me at the Crouch Group. My email is tim@thecrouchgroup.com, or you can contact Melissa with CP Cal. And Melissa, what is your email?
Melissa MFT, so my name, and then like marriage family therapist at iCloud.com.
All right. This is Tim Crouch reminding you that collaborative divorce is a better way to untie the knot.